Hello, welcome to Blue World. Yeah, I don't know, I have these stupid filters for my lights, and I thought I'd change it up, get a little mood lighting in here, make it feel like we're underwater. Under the sea, under the sea. Anyway, today I want to do a video about a game that just came out. That game being Story of Seasons, A Wonderful Life. I played the OG Harvest Moon, A Wonderful Life, back on the GameCube. And I'm not that familiar with Story of Seasons. The only other one I played is Friends of Mineral Town, and I haven't played that much anyway. But I'm really enjoying the game so far. I have a Let's Play series coming out where I'm doing a video. So they're longer form videos. That'll be dropping on the channel very soon. But today I want to rank all of the characters in the game because the game has quite a varied array of characters that we could rank, and I know all of them pretty well at this point. I've only ever made it to year 2 in the game, like once before, and it was in the original game. I haven't made it there yet in the newest one. I feel like I know most of these characters. There's a few that are introduced in chapter 2 that I'm not super familiar with, and I mean that's just going to reflect in their rating. It just has to. This tier list is actually on tiermaker.com, and I made it myself. I had to go through and painstakingly add everybody's name just so it was better for me, so I could remember them as I'm rating them. Yeah, if you want to do this yourself or just rank them yourself for your own fun time and your records, you can follow the link in the description. It's free, it's online. Alright, we're starting with a Harvest Sprite named Ace. Ace is the place with the happy hardware people. Ace Hardware Store, anybody got those around them? The Harvest Sprites aren't my favorite. I think they're just kind of in the game to progress the story. And, you know, there's 3 of them in this game, so it's not that bad. But yeah, I'm going to drop most of the sprites. I think they can all go and see. I don't like any of them more than any other ones or any less than any other one. If I had to choose one to like the most, Jack's probably the cutest. I mean, he's just a little fella right there. Next we have is Dr. Baddock, formerly known as Hardy, Dr. Hardy. He was the doctor and is the doctor who comes into town in chapter 1 and cares for Romana. You know, she's so rich she got her own fucking doctor coming into town to check on her vitals every day, pretty much. You won't see this guy very often in chapter 1, but he does end up moving in chapter 2 just so he doesn't have to do that commute. I really like him. I think he's S tier contender. I might even throw him up there right now. His backstory is so cool. His just looks really cool. I love the fact he rocks boxers and flip-flops, but then, you know, he's all business from the waist up, so you gotta commend that. He's missing his eye, and he looks like a K. Rool type character, you know? And that backstory is wild, you know? He's very committed to his work, even to the point where it'll physically affect him. And that's what happened to his eye, at least in the old game. He was caring for a patient whose disease then spread to him, and he ended up losing his eyeball because of it. So yeah, he's very committed to his work. I love the character. I don't know if he goes that deep with his origin story past that, but even that alone, I'm gonna drop him in S tier for now. I have a few more characters that could possibly be in S tier, but I'm gonna drop Baddock / Hardy in S tier. Next we have is Cecilia, who is the wife I usually go for. It was the wife I always went for, or the partner I always went for in the older game. I don't know why. I would bounce between her and Molly, or Muffy, known in the other game. But yeah, she's pretty much just the default wife, pretty easy to get. You know, she's not related to anybody in the valley, but she looks at Vesta as like a parent-type character, and the character known as Matt is also secretly in love with her, but won't ever admit it. And he's got his own stuff going on that we'll talk about in a little bit. But yeah, Cecilia, I mean, if you want a wife that knows about crops and knows about farming and is just overall pretty cute and interesting, Cecilia, you can't go wrong with her. I'm gonna drop her an A. Next we have is Charlie, which is one of the twins who works on fireworks. Yeah, these boys be down there making the atom bomb. You can call them Hindenburg or whatever that fucker was called. Yeah, these guys, I might go ahead and rate them together because they kind of seem like the same character. I'm kind of feeling like throwing them in C. There's one of them who's more of an asshole, who immediately doesn't like you as much as the other one. I think it's Charlie who doesn't like you, so I'm dropping him in C, and then Cole gets to be in B because he's a bit nicer. Next we have is Kuro, or Chris for the layman. Kuro is the wife of Sully and the mother of Hugh, and she is the news reporter in the city. So she has to make a pretty early commute every day, which means you can catch her if you do wake up early in the morning and go visit some people. You can usually catch her on her way to work. Other than that, she's not super interesting as a character. She's not wettable since she's already married and has a family of her own. So, you know, she's not that deep of a character, but it's nice to see her every once in a while, and she likes to buy your milk anytime you set up a shop, so I think I'll throw her in C for Chris. It makes sense. There's gonna be a lot of C characters, I already know. Alright, Daryl. This is a tricky one. I've filmed this video once before, but I did it on the old game before the new one came out, and then I realized I'd scrap that anyway and do the new one. And I put him in F tier originally, but since I've been playing the game recently, if you befriend him in the first year, he'll give you a free seed maker, or seed producer, which basically if you put a fruit in to the seed maker, it'll produce 2 more seeds. So you get 2 seeds per 1 vegetable you put in there, which just doubles your output, and it's great. So I think that shoots him up to B at least. But god damn it if he's not a fucking creep. There's a cutscene where he peers in on your child, and it's, you know, his excuse is, oh, I just like to study adolescent youth. But we all know what he's really getting into.
All I gotta say is, ain't nothing going on here, dude. Nothing funny going on here.
Nothing funny going on.
No.
I can't, in my right mind, put a child predator any higher than F. I'm sorry, he's gotta go in F. Seed maker or not, adolescent researcher or not, Daryl's going in F. Plus, he has a really creepy thing for Flora, who is our next character. Listen, Flora's awesome. I already know where I'm putting her. I'm putting her in B. She's held back by the fact she's not dateable. That sounds like such a fucking Chad thing to say, dude. That's probably the most Chad thing I've ever said on this channel. I don't like her because I can't fuck her. I just kind of wish she was one of the spouse or one of the marriage candidates, because I think she's the hottest in the game, even above Molly. It's kind of a shame she isn't. She won't even really accept any gifts. Yeah, I think you could give her a few things here and there. But, you know, if you try to give her a flower, she's like, oh, that's not my field of study. For that fact, and beyond the fact that, like, Daryl's in love with her, I'm pretty sure Carter has a thing for her, who's the other archaeologist of the town. For those facts, I mean, she's got to go in B. I'm sorry, Flora. You should have been a marriage candidate. I think the game developers knew what they were doing with that. I really do. Next we have is one of the characters who moves in Chapter 2, Garrett. This guy just seems like a little shrimp of a dude, man. I don't know much about him. I think he works in the city, and he commutes back and forth every day. He brings his family, his daughter Kate, and his wife San, previously known as Sam. I don't know these characters that well. I kind of want to put Garrett and San in C, and then Kate in B, because she grows up, and I think she can date your child. If I had to take a guess, if I knew more about these characters, I think I'd like San the most out of all of these, but at the time of this recording, I'm putting both of those in C. Next we have is Gary. Gary has a pretty interesting arc throughout the game. You think he might be the one to pass because, you know, there's quite a few old people in Forget-Me-Not Valley, but unfortunately it is Nina, his wife, who passes, and his character changes a lot after that. You know, beforehand, you could catch him being like, oh, chippy ho, hey there, young fella. And then after, it's like, Gary goes through it, man. I gotta put him in A. He's such a solid dude. In the first half of the game, you know, you can give him fish every day and he'll be really appreciative. And he's just a solid husband, bro. If you set up a shop, put flowers in there, he's buying flowers. And you know it's for Nina. He ain't got eyes for anybody else, and that's proof in the second half of the game after Nina passes. There's a minigame where you can still befriend Gary a little bit by cleaning Nina's grave. It's very dark, but a very wholesome little story arc, and I gotta put my boy Gare Bear in A because of it. Next we have is Gavin. I think I already know where I'm putting him. It'll probably go in B. I think he's a really cool character. He's the owner and runs the coffee shop, the Bluebird Cafe, and he can play guitar. He's like a father figure to Molly, takes her in under his wing kind of thing. Not creepy at all. You know, he could definitely be like a Daryl character, but you know, he's just a lost soul traveling through time. And I think he's finally settled down, but who knows? The only thing about him, and the reason I'm putting him in B, is he doesn't have much of a backstory. There's not much depth to the character beyond just he likes to play music every once in a while. Not as much as Gustavo, but you know, that's about it. And he runs the cafe. So in terms of depth, he's not that deep, so I gotta put him in B. Pretty mid-range character. Next we have is Gary. That's not his name. Shit. I meant Gordy. This is Gordy, this isn't Gary. I'll have to fix that for the list. Alright, this guy's name's Gordy. He's the artist, and he makes art out of metal objects. He's a very lost soul. He's one of the hardest bachelors to get to fall in love with you. He's very hard to gift. There is a little glitch in the game where if he's walking, you can gift him something, but otherwise, if he got his shit folded like this, he won't take any gifts. So keep that in mind if you're trying to go for him. I think it's a cool challenge almost to try to get him to like you, because he is so stubborn and just kind of an asshole. I don't like that they changed his name from Cody to Gordy, and also his redesign isn't my favorite. You know, Cody used to resemble Mr. T a little bit, so that shit looks so, that went so hard. I think I gotta put him in B. Next we have is Gustavo. This guy, his redesign isn't my favorite. He looks a lot more like John Lennon now than a fucking goblin like he did in the last game. He's a pretty, you know, he's the stoner of the village. He likes to play music. He's a pretty nice dude. I don't have any issues with him. He's not that deep of a character though, and I think I gotta throw him in B as well. Next we have is Hugh, which is the child of Chris and Sully, and this guy has quite a arc throughout the game. He'll turn into a teenager, I believe in year 2, and I think is a candidate for dating your child. I'm not sure. He might be too old at that point. Again, not that deep of a character. If you do open a shop and he's young and he comes by, he'll ask about stuff, but he can't pay for it because he's a kid and he's broke as shit. So I'm gonna throw Hugh in C. Lou is such a, I don't know if I hate Lou or Ty more. They're so boring, so middle of the road. I feel like they're both Disney adults. I don't even know where to begin, and it's not because they're Asian. Don't even go down that route, okay? I'm about to put Takakura in fucking S tier, and that guy's Japanese as fuck, all right? Listen, I don't know what it is about him. I might just not like the inn, or the fact that, you know, the whole game they tout Lou's a great cook, but you can't ever buy food from her. Where are you at, bitch? Where's your food at? Listen, I'm gonna throw Lou in C and Ty in C. They don't do it for me. I don't know. Next we have is Mark, and this also represents the female main character. This is just the main character in the game, the person you play as. Obviously, you get a chance to rename them, and most people usually do. But yeah, this guy's going pretty high on the list probably. I just like his design a lot. I think it's just nostalgic as fuck. All the Harvest Moon characters, at least the main characters, usually look the same, but they're all adapted to that game's, you know, style. So I really like the design of Mark, both female and male version. And the fact that in this game, you know, you can dress them up and have different uniforms, even if some are DLC, which is a little stinky. But there was a free Mukumuku one that's really cool. I think I gotta throw him an A. It's just a solid main character, you know. You could argue, you know, it's like Hero from Dragon Quest, but I would argue, what else do you want? Next we have is Matt, whose name I don't remember from the last game, but he went through quite a redesign. Probably for the better. The older guy kind of looked way older, you know, from the original game. And he has a thing for Cecilia, as I mentioned before. He's the brother of Vesta and works on the farm, the competing farm, or cooperative farm, I guess you could say, since you're buying seeds from him. But yeah, this guy's got a illness. I'm not quite sure if it's actually terminal or not, but I get the feeling it is. And he moved to Forget-Me-Not Valley to, you know, try to adopt a more humble, quiet life before he passes. It's quite a dark story, and if you don't do anything with him marriage-wise, I think he'll just become depressed, and especially if you do swoop up Cecilia, I know that guy just isn't a fan of you then. I don't know if it actually affects your friendship with him or not, but there is a few cutscenes in which Vesta's trying to protect her brother from the fact that Cecilia is slowly falling in love with the main character. And that's just a really cool, like, love dynamic thing. And the fact that the guy's ill kind of makes me feel bad for even stepping in and taking Cecilia. If that's even, then we're considering Cecilia an object, and we don't want to do that. I think Matt's very dynamic character. I'm going to throw him an A. Even though at first I wasn't a huge fan of his redesign, it's definitely grown on me since then. And he's one of the cooler characters in the game. Next we have is Molly, who on my original profile, when I first started playing the remake, is the spouse I went for. She's definitely the easiest in the game. I think you can gain hearts on her without even talking to her, because half the time her heart events will trigger by you doing nothing at all. Since the game will technically end if you don't marry somebody at the end of the first year, they kind of had to shoe in somebody who's very easy to wed, especially considering a lot of the other spouses in the game are very hard to actually get hearts for. So I guess this was just the, like, here's the easy mode, go for it. But and it doesn't help that they made her very attractive. She's a blonde, I've seen her described as a bombshell online. Maybe not the best phrasing in 2023. Is that because of feminism or Hiroshima? You decide. She actually becomes depressed if she doesn't fall in love and get married and start a family in the valley, which would only be viable with the main character. So if you don't end up with her, she actually becomes pretty depressed throughout the rest of the game and never finds anybody, never falls in love, and never achieves her greatness, because she did, in fact, move from the city to try and achieve that dream of hers. And if she can't do that, then she's kind of fucked. So I think that's also why she comes off very desperate and forward in most situations. But yeah, we'll move her to A. I actually really like that character. Mukumuku. This is a random creature character that shows up during the winter time. I haven't actually run into him ever in the game. I never made it to winter of the first year in the original, and I still haven't made it there yet in the remake. I guess not a skin, an outfit of Mukumuku you can put on your main character in the remake that's free on PlayStation Network. You should go grab it if you are playing this game right now, because it's a wild ass skin. It's hilarious. You're dressed up as this big white furball thing, and there's a hood that's just Mukumuku's head. It's basically like it's eating your face, and you can go through the whole game, all these serious ass conversations, all these romantic conversations in this Mukumuku outfit, and it just makes the game so much more fun and hilarious to look at. I gotta throw Mukumuku. The fact I haven't ever actually met the guy, I'm gonna throw him a B, because I don't know personally if I'd like the guy. You know how it is. Moving on, we got Nami. She is one of the bachelorettes, and she stays in the Lei Hotel, owned by Lou and Tai. And she is one of the hardest bachelorettes to get in the game, because she is basically on the same wavelength as Gordy, in terms of the fact that she don't like gifts. She's kind of an asshole. She takes a while to warm up to you, but in reality, it's just she's very shy and has been burned by folks before, and she's a wandering soul. She oftentimes will talk about moving on to the next city, and she might even move on for a while and come back. I don't really remember. I never really went for her just in terms of difficulty, but I know a lot of people actually do like the character. I'm going to throw her in C. I don't actually like her all that much, to be honest. Nina could be S tier for me, but I think she's going to go down in A since she's not in the game all that long in the grand scheme of things. She passes away. She has possibly the biggest character arc in terms of being dynamic, because she fucking dies. That's the biggest change anybody goes through in the game, I think. But yeah, Nina, she's a great character. She's so sweet. She'll accept most easy gifts in the game. She has a lot of cutscenes. I always try to befriend her in the first year before she does pass, because she'll give you things like recipes in this game anyway, and there's a few rare cutscenes you can see of her. And then after she passes, you can get a few more interactions with her through her ghostly being, but beyond that, yeah, she's pretty much toast. It's even more demising and kind of dark when you realize on the little status bar where you used to see her like emotion meter towards the main character, it's no longer there. She's the only one, and she'll be the last in the list, meaning she truly is passed away. So it's very sad. Very dark character, but a very dynamic one. I gotta put her in A. Next we have is Pooey, who is a homeless being, a homeless dude who walks around Forget-Me-Not Valley in an attempt to raise enough money to go back to his home in Coco Island, I believe. I always like to believe this guy is just saving up money to go on a carnival cruise or get a bunch of alcohol and drink himself to death or something. But I always give him the most amount of money I can. I love helping this guy out. I'll give him fish anytime I see him because, you know, he's a hungry soul. Yeah, this guy's pretty cool. I think I'm going to throw him a B. He's not that deep a character. You can get some cool cutscenes of him going back to his village. I don't know if he ever actually does or not. But you can catch him digging around in your garbage every once in a while, especially if you don't help him out with food and money. You can catch him doing that. And he's kind of a nuisance in the town, but, you know, you gotta feel bad for him. Every homeless character in these Harvest Moon games, I always warm up to. I always try to befriend them because it's a rough life in these games, bro. Not everybody was handed a farm by their grandfather, you know. Some dudes are just from a place called Cocoa Island, and I guarantee it's not a place with chocolate. Next we have is my next F-tier character, Arak. I fucking hate this dude. He's very self-indulging. He's young, so I give him a little bit of a pass there, but he's still just a very self-indulging asshole, narcissist, just up his own ass. Doesn't have a job, doesn't want to work, doesn't want to contribute, is very judgmental of those who try to uphold their place in society, the cog in the wheel. Listen, I get the want to be carefree, jobless type mentality. I think we all secretly want to be that. But you can't just say, fuck it, I'm going to do that, because it doesn't work. It's proven not to work, and it's proven again in this game because Rock's a piece of shit. There's a scene where he's like, let's hang out, but I don't have any money, so what do you want to do? Let's go look at this tortoise. You know, it's some boring ass shit. You know, they really nailed the broke ass friend in Rock, and for that, I fucking hate him, and he's going in F. Next we have is Romana, who might be my next F tier. She's kind of a bitch. I don't like her, first of all, because she's rich. She's one of the richest people in the game. She lives in the Manor, probably the most expensive plot of land in the game, in Forget-Me-Not Valley. And yeah, I'm not a huge fan of her. I don't know. She'll, if she's ever in the kitchen, she'll tell you to be quiet, like keep it down, stop talking to me. She don't want Sebastian to hear her rummaging around for snacks in the kitchen, which I guess is kind of wholesome, but she can really be a bitch about it. Like, shut the fuck up, leave me alone, get out of the kitchen, he's really gonna hear me. Like, it's not that serious. Don't you hire Sebastian? Or is he your husband? No, I'm pretty sure he's your butler. If he says anything, you can just be like, you're fired, get out of here. Fuck Romana. She got cute cats, though. It doesn't redeem her at all, but there's some cute cats. Next we have is Sebastian, another non-deep character, works as a butler for Romana, as mentioned before. Oh, fuck, I don't have Lumina in the list. Damn it. How did I miss Lumina? Alright, I'll have to make some edits to the list. I'd probably put Lumina in C tier, to be honest. Another bachelorette I'm not a huge fan of. But yeah, I'd throw her in C. I gotta add her to the list. Sorry about that. I also gotta change Gordy's name. But yeah, back to Sebastian. Yeah, not a very dynamic character. I'm gonna throw him in C as well. You know, you can catch him doing some weird shit in the Manor every once in a while. You know, there's a dream sequence where there's like 50 Sebastians on the screen, so that's pretty funny and pretty cool, but otherwise, not a huge fan. Next we have is Sully. This guy is just fitness first. You know, you ever see one of those fitness influencers on Instagram or something? This would be this guy, if that was a thing in Forget-Me-Not Valley. Thank God it's not. I usually avoid this guy just because he's constantly running. If you can catch him and he can talk, all he's going to say is pretty much the same 3 things he says. He's not a dynamic character at all. He's probably one of the most boring characters. I think he does have a little bit more of an arc later on when he's talking about his kid Hugh and how maybe he's a little bit disappointed that he doesn't want to run with him anymore. But other than that, I gotta throw him in C. I don't think he's bad enough to go into F tier, but yeah, he's definitely going into C. Takakura is definitely my next S tier candidate. He's the embodiment of the soul of the game, I feel like. He's the connection to your father or grandfather, whoever left you the farm. And he's the one to sing your praises after you leave. And he was the only connecting thing you had to your old previous life that connects you to Forget-Me-Not Valley. So it definitely feels like the first friend you get in a new school or something. You know, he's showing you the ropes. He's always there for you to answer questions. He literally lives on the farm, so you always feel like you have a safety net to lean on. I really like Takakura. He can come off kind of cold shouldery, but overall, I gotta throw him an A. I don't think he's gonna beat out Baddock in terms of just character design is a lot for me. I love Baddock. Takakura is definitely up there, but I think I'm gonna keep him an A. Next we have is Carter, who is the second archaeologist. As mentioned before, he has a thing for Flora. He's pretty weird. He likes to suck in the sun's energy. I feel like he might be one of those dudes who does the asshole tanning. That is a trend nowadays. But yeah, this guy's kind of weird. Although he's pretty nice, he can he'll let you help out dig on the dig site, which is a great way to make money. And he'll keep anything of archaeological use, but most of the time he just lets you keep whatever you find, and you can sell that shit for a decent chunk of change. I think he's going in C as well. You see a trend here. Most people are going in C. Next we have is Van. He is the traveling merchant who will show up in your town on the 3rd and the 8th of every month. And he sells you some pretty important items. He'll sell you your tool upgrades throughout the seasons. And he'll sell you some stuff like fishing rods and brushes and animal products like that. So he's like the benchmark for a month or a season, I guess. You know, when Van comes around, the whole other time he's not around, you're preparing for when he's there. Because the shipping bin is very limited. You can only ship out and make money on products you make off your farm, which is crops and animal products. So fish, foraging, stuff you get from the archaeological site, all of that can't be sold through the shipping bin. So you got to save it up and wait for the 3rd and the 8th of every month for Van to come through and make your big bucks bank. You know what I mean? Make those bank rolls off this fucking sweaty fuck. He's kind of annoying. He can be an asshole too. Haggling is kind of a thing with him. You can become his friend. It's hard to gift him things and become his friend, but if you get him to like you more, haggling becomes easier. But if you're not his friend, he's kind of an asshole. He's very like upfront and blunt about what he does and his prices and everything. I think I'm gonna throw him in B, honestly. I think he probably had a spot in A, but the fact he can just be like, I don't feel like selling you that, actually. Fuck you. Alright, next we have is Vesta, who is the sister of Matt and works on the farm. She's one of the next nicest people in the game who really puts herself out there to help you on the farm, gifting you seeds and crops and stuff throughout the game. She's overall a really cool character. She's always looking out for both Cecilia and her brother Matt, always holding down the fam, trying to make some money, all while keeping everything running. I'm gonna throw her an A. Next and last, we have Vinnie. I don't know anything about this character. I think it's a character Takakura gets seeds for at some point in the game and plants them, and then it grows up to be Vinnie. And I think you can talk to the plant and like feed them shit or something. I really never got far enough in the game to really notice or know what this character is about, so I'm throwing him in C. And that's our official list of the Story of Seasons characters. I left out Romana and I got Gordy's name wrong. Sorry about those mistakes. I will try to fix the tier list, so if you ever go and do it yourself, it'll be right. But yeah, this is the official tier list for all these stupid characters in this stupid little game. I love this game. I love the remake. It was done so well. If you want to see my playthrough on my channel, it'll be linked in the description below. It's gonna be a longer form type series. It's still gonna be heavily edited, but yeah, I kind of just want to zone out, play the game on the channel, make some content out of it, because it's one of my favorite childhood games. I have a lot of nostalgia for the game, and I'm so glad there's finally an HD remake that is competent. I was really worried with the Story of Seasons tag on it that it would be like just buggy and messy. The game's running really well. I've seen firsthand that the Switch version also runs really well. I'm playing on PS5 at the moment, and that version seems to be the best at the moment for me anyway. But yeah, I'll stop rambling. This has been the Story of Seasons character tier list. If you liked the video, make sure to leave a like down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.